Now, even though I despise Halloween and it's the worst day of the year because it promotes Satanism and paganism and the occult and all, I was forced to do a video talking about a Halloween-themed horror movie. I hope you're proud, woke moralists. JackO is a 1995 horror film directed by Steve Latshaw, who is known for a few other movies that, to be honest, look terrible. But more importantly, the film was produced by regular smut filmmaker Fred Olen Ray, known for such titles like Alienator, Dinosaur Island, Hollywood Chainsaw H-Words, Evil Tunes, and Jim Carrey Bacon. Like many other films from this pair, we have cameos from such actors like John Carradine, Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, and Cameron Mitchell. Out of all of them, I only know who John Carradine is because he was in, you know, actual movies. Apparently, this is listed as Cameron Mitchell's last film, according to IMDb. So does this movie live up to the hype of being a so bad it's good movie? And is it better than some people are saying it is? Or is it just as bad as others have called it? Well, one thing I hope is that it's better than Replicator. I never want to see another movie like that ever again. But let's get on with the show. This is JackO. The movie begins with a little boy named Sean and Ken Bone over here carving jack-o'-lanterns in the woods.
Cut off your head with a whack, whack, whack.
Thank you for that. The man then tells Sean that a wicked pumpkin-headed man will come for him one day, since it apparently runs in his family for many generations. We head into a flashback where this boy's father, possibly Sean's great-great-grandfather, leaves his family to stop the beast for good. In other words, he left to go get some milk. Kind of like my parents told me at a very young age. Yes? Hello? Is anything going to happen anytime soon? Next scene! After that, we see Sean meet up with his two friends, Bully Boy and Girl Girl. They hide behind some bushes as Sean's new neighbor arrives at her home, leading the children to suspect that she might be a witch.
This is what they used to do to witches. They threw rocks at them, tied them up, and burned them. Bobby, don't! I'll get her this time. Bobby, don't! You'll get us in trouble! Ow!
I can't tell what's worse, their acting, that kid's throwing arm, or the fact that they're fighting like a bunch of 90s beta male soy boys. The woman breaks up the fight and walks Sean home, but there, he discovers something wicked this way comes, like his closet opening up a dark forest setting and John Carradine dressed up as a dark wizard. Though, honestly, it just looks like he's costume playing as Emperor Palpatine. So for keeping track at home, this is a ripoff of Narnia and Star Wars, so that's two ripoffs in one scene alone. Such blatant plagiarism, I don't appreciate it. What a curse word load of another curse word.
There's little use in trying to resist me. My will is much stronger than yours.
Sean makes his way to a barn and discovers a man has murdered two other people, though honestly it just looks like they had a little too much Sharkleberry Fin to drink. Thankfully, the neighbor woman wakes him up from the visions of an evil pumpkin-headed man.
Looked like you saw a ghost.
I had a scary dream.
Later, we finally get some of that star power we were promised, as Sean and his family watch a horror movie marathon, meaning yes, 2 of the actors we were promised aren't even in the real movie. Cameron Mitchell is a TV horror host in what looks like they filmed it in his home office, and Brinks Stevens is an actress in the movie that they are watching. Out of all the actors that were promised to me, the only one who actually shows up and interacts in most of the story is the actress Linnea Quigley. Well, what exactly do you mean by that, Ariel? Oh. This is going to be another replicator situation, isn't it? Oh, thank goodness. Thank you, Lord God in heaven. Anyway, we see a couple of 30-year-olds pretending to be high school students, or as I like to call them, your average millennials, running around in the woods as they get into various acts of alcoholism, premarital relations, candy eating, and whatnot. But after they remove a wooden cross from the ground, the titular JackO is awakened and ready to game end them.
You guys, can we go now?
The woman runs into the woods, but too little too late, as JackO ends up slitching her throat with his hay sickle. And apparently, Sean felt those murders happening as he wakes up from them as if it was another bad dream. This is also confusing. Did M. Night Shyamalan make this movie or something? The next day, we finally get this Linnea Quigley woman showing up, along with her sister and her boyfriend, who agrees to let Sean take a ride with him on his motorcycle. Yep, look at how excited he is to be doing that. You can tell he's having the time of his life there. Come the dreaded night of Halloween, and the neighbor woman comes over, revealing that her relatives and their relatives were actually once close. Meanwhile, Bully Boy and Girl Girl are out trick-or-treating, and they come across one certain household.
They say that there are only 2 things in life that are certain, death and taxes. What a load of liberal crap, I tell you. Why should I give my money to the government when they aren't giving me any of theirs?
Oh yeah, I remember watching a lot of programs like that when I was growing up. They don't make them like that anymore. Actually, wait, come to think of it.
It's so true. That's what I've always said, Richard.
Mother? Father? Is it really you?
Looking for a handout?
Yes, sir, we'd like some candy.
You want some candy? Does this look like a candy store? I make my living selling food. You want something from me, you pay for it. Got it? Good, now get at it.
Oh man, the only thing that's missing from this scene is Uncle Toby running out and telling all the trick-or-treaters that he's gonna grab his boomstick. Brings back all the sweet memories of my youth. Anyway, after being told they can't have any candy, like the unemployed leeches they are, they end up doing what most of the neighborhood kids would do to my parents' house growing up, throwing toilet paper at it. They leave, but it seems JackO has just arrived.
Hey! Hey, I know who you are and I saw what you did! Hey, get out of the yard!
10 out of 10 acting, man. Best line delivery ever. Hey, get out of the yard! A bad credit card? It's too good. That's the line of the movie. That was the line of the movie. Oh my god. So after that, some hooligans steal one of the man's hubcaps. Targeted harassment much? All he's done is just tell these little leeches to society that they can't have any candy because it counts as state-backed welfare. What is this, a crime now? I did that last Tuesday.
A little bit for trick-or-treating. Aren't you, bucko?
Get away.
with Sean and his babysitter, they're now out trick and or treating, stopping by the house of the man that we saw at the beginning of the movie. And maybe I'm looking too deep into this, but it seems like he's getting just a little too into this.
Been expecting you, Sean. Evening, Callan. Happy Halloween, Sean. Didn't you forget to say something? Trick or treat!
Okay, well, you just got creepier. This child clearly needs an adult. Meanwhile, Linnea Quigley's sister and her boyfriend plan to do some very promiscuous things in the woods, causing JackO to show up and put an end to that.
Nice costume, butthead. You're scaring my girlfriend. I'll get the hell out of here. I said, get the hell out of here.
The sister makes a run for it and warns a repairman about the killer on the loose. Okay, so maybe he can help her get out of there, or he can just get his neck slashed and die right then and there. Alright then. Sean's parents hear about the string of murders in the area and grow concerned for him. When his father goes out to look for him, he comes across this man once again.
I'm trying to find Sean. Have you seen him?
He was here with Carolyn early this evening. I scared the hell out of them.
They say where they were going?
Halloween, David. I figured they were out looking for candy.
You know, I'm starting to think that this neighborhood has two menaces that are attacking on this Halloween night. Sean and the babysitter work their way back to the house after visiting, like, 3 houses all night. JackO shows up and attacks Linnea while at the local neighborhood playground. Oh, so terrifying! Sean makes it back to the house, but he apparently can't get the door open, giving JackO the perfect opportunity to capture him. JackO then takes Sean to a cemetery to bury him alive. Now listen to poor Sean's desperate pleading for his life against the pure evil pumpkin-headed man. Truly, you can feel the acting in this scene. The neighbor and the parents show up just in the nick of time. JackO temporarily distracted by the neighbor as she remembers that her ancestors are the ones that originally summoned him.
I am the last of the ones who brought you into this world. Now go back to hell.
Well now, that was pointless.
Come get me, pumpkin man!
And so the movie ends with Sean, his parents, Linnea Quigley, and her sister walking happily into the sunrise. Oh, also I guess JackO isn't actually gone for good as his head lights up before the credits roll, so he might still be alive. I truly can't wait to see where the story goes in the sequel that will definitely happen, I just know it. That was JackO, and it's not as bad as Replicator, but it's still pretty bad. Everything about this, from the acting, the production, and even for a horror movie, there's not a lot of violence, which, as someone who doesn't like violence depicted in media, I take that as a win, but still, if you're going to a horror movie where a man with a pumpkin head is going around slashing people with a scythe, you think that they would have a little more of that in there. But again, I'm praising the movie for the fact that it doesn't have as much violence. The only thing I really liked in this movie was the Republican family, because they reminded me of my family growing up, darn it. But in all seriousness, terrible movie. Best thing about the movie was easily that one guy's line reading on, hey, get out of the yard. That was the one good thing. Everything else, it's pretty bad. Well, that does it for Captivating Christian Videos in October. If you need me, I'm gonna start putting up signs letting people know to get away from my house and to stop TPing and egging it just because we don't put out candy because we don't celebrate the Satan holiday. Until next time, may Jesus be with you. Get the F word off my property! Oh, jeez!
Well, Mr. Christopher Thaddeus Ian, it seems you and I are more alike than you think. We're cut from the same blood.